TKO finish. Oh, high kick! All the clinch in the ground. Oh, because he's...
In MMA history, a few fighters are known for a particular weapon in their arsenal that spreads fear and terror in their opponents. Such examples are Cro Cop's left high kick or Francis Ngannou's 96 horsepower right hand. Today, in the UFC, Alex Pereira possesses such a superpower, a notorious left hook that has destroyed fighters like Israel Adesanya. Sean Strickland, and Jiri Prochazka, and has helped the Brazilian win 2 UFC belts in only 7 fights. From his thunderous knockouts in kickboxing to his double champ status in the UFC, Alex Pereira is a gift that keeps on giving, and this is his incredible story. Pereira was born in the favelas of Sao Paulo on July 7, 1987, where life was not a walk in the park. Instead of attending school and developing intellectually, Alex was forced to leave the middle school at 12 to get a job in a tire repair shop to support himself financially. However, he was not aware that changing tires would turn out to be one of the few factors that gained him unmatched power in his hands. Besides that job, Pereira is indigenous to the Pataxo tribe, whose cultural characteristic is practicing archery. By drawing bow and arrow from an early age, the Brazilian gained muscles, strength, and power in his arms, which significantly developed the unmatched punching force he utilized in the ring and the octagon. However, while working at the tire repair shop, Powhatan was under the bad influence of his colleagues and eventually he turned alcoholic. Thankfully for him, he reached out to kickboxing as a tool for distraction, to escape alcoholism, and sure enough, that was the rightest decision of his life. After completing and scoring multiple outstanding victories on the local stages in Sao Paulo for 2 years, Pereira's potential was finally noticed on a global stage as he signed with the Glory Kickboxing organization. Powhatan made his promotional debut on March 8, 2014 against Justin Jacoby, a future UFC elite who had a notable victory against Randy Blake then.
With an elbow, and you just feel it flush and they go down and you just know it's a great feeling.
Pereira wasted no time and quickly introduced the American with his vicious left hook that quickly got his attention. The Brazilian kept the momentum and assaulted Jacoby with a fury of punches. Sadly for him, the first left hook was just a free trial before the real deal, as Alex followed Dustin against the ropes and landed another left hook that knocked him unconscious this time.
As we take a look at this shot that ended the fight.
A spectacular debut for the future superstar. In the finals, Pereira faced Sahak Parparian, who, besides being a former WFCA and It's Showtime world champion, was also known for beating the controversial figure Andrew Tate. Powhatan controlled that fight from the beginning.
И хорошо начинает с колена Перейра. Нахрапом, конечно, Парпаряна тяжело взять.
And he pulled off a beautiful 1-2 combo that dropped the Armenian to the canvas.
Падает Парпарян.
However, Parparian was too tough to give up.
Посмотрим, что сейчас предпримет Парпарян. Предыдущий раунд он проиграл, да еще
и позволяет ему это делать, боец из Бразилии.
And survived the fight, only to allow Alex to earn his first major title, the Glory Middleweight Contender Tournament. The Brazilian went 3-2 in his next 5 fights before he was scheduled a rematch against Cesar Almeida, a former Super Combat Light Heavyweight Plus champion for the vacant WGP Kickboxing Middleweight title. Alex manhandled his compatriot this time,
Vale os dois na movimentação. Foi agora pra cima o Alex Pereira. Vai na sequência 1-2. Bom, chute rodado.
Outstriking him in every round.
Chute de luta. Trabalha bem, direita dura, vazio. Tentou chute rodado, entrou. Entrou o chute rodado do Alex Pereira. Lutadores que estão de frente pra gente. Bom, a sequência o Alex Pereira. Trava na esquerda, vai terminar.
To a unanimous decision victory. In the following year of 2016, at the Glory of Heroes 1 event, Alex Pereira was matched against Israel Adesanya, his bitter opponent and future nemesis. There was no way these two could only know that this fight would be an overture to one of the greatest rivalries in combat sports history. The first moment the fight started, Pereira took the center of the ring and immediately went against Adesanya aggressively. The Brazilian appeared to be the more active fighter in the opening seconds, but Israel quickly retaliated with low kicks on his own. Alex continued being the aggressor, while the Nigerian had the much more reserved approach, avoiding Pereira's big punches while trying to counter him with good combinations. Israel found success in his counter-offensive, tagging the Brazilian with jabs as he slowed down a bit as the round went on. In the second round, Adesanya slowly started taking control of the fight, landing clean 1-2 combinations and mixing punching with striking while switching stances. The Brazilian appeared to slow down a bit, and Israel took advantage of that by being the aggressor, pressuring his rival against the ropes while landing beautiful combinations. Pereira fought back and caught Adesanya with heavy combinations, but the Nigerian did not even flinch. As the third round went on, Adesanya displayed beautiful footwork, tagging Alex with combinations while moving away from his attempted power shots. Israel, who appeared to be the fresher fighter, went after his rival aggressively, landing clean, but that only angered the Brazilian, who retaliated with powerful shots that landed clean. Swinging like that came at a cost for Alex, who seemed tired as the third round went on. Adesanya used that opportunity to tag his opponent with good combinations and counter strikes. Each time Pereira threw powerful punches, Israel retaliated with beautiful combos. The third round was clearly in favor of Adesanya. This was a very close fight that could have been scored either way. While Adesanya was the better technical fighter with more significant strikes, Pereira landed the more powerful shots. However, the judges scored 29-28 in favor of Pereira, a decision that was an overture to a kickboxing rematch to settle the score and determine who was the better kickboxer between the two. Powhatan was destined for a rematch against his bitter enemy, Israel Adesanya. The rematch in kickboxing between these two elite fighters was scheduled for March 4th, 2017. It was apparent that a second fight should take place, considering the controversies around the first fight about who really won. Unlike in the first bout, the fighters entered the rematch very calculative, cautious, and reserved, respecting each other's skill. They were cautiously throwing combinations, but neither were doing anything crazy like recklessly swinging while opening the guard. However, Adesanya took control of the round when he pressured Alex against the ropes, delivering heavy overhand rights that got Pereira's attention. In a technical exchange where both fighters displayed high-level skills, it seemed Adesanya did more than his Brazilian rival did to win that round. The Nigerian entered the second round as the aggressor, but Alex retaliated with good combinations on his own. Israel kept landing clean, tagging Pereira with punches. And the Brazilian appeared to have no real answer for Adesanya's attacks. By the end of the first round, Israel threw a combo that hurt Alex badly. The Brazilian entered a defensive mode, and Adesanya kept throwing bombs that were landing clean. It seemed that the referee would jump in at any time and save Pereira from taking any further punishment, but he refused to go down. Alex Pereira knew he was 2 rounds down and entered the third one as he had nothing to lose. Adesanya defended well, avoiding some of Pereira's attacks, but then the infamous left hook came out of nowhere that knocked Adesanya out cold. That punch was a shock, and nobody could believe what had just happened, considering that Israel had nearly finished Alex in the previous round. Pereira proved that it doesn't matter how the fight goes, because all it takes is one clean punch to turn the lights off any fighter on the planet. The power won over the speed and technique, and this was the last time Israel Adesanya fought in kickboxing. After leaving Adesanya frozen like Elsa, Alex kept the momentum in his next fight against Biram Rama by dismantling the Albanian with his vicious right hooks.
The fight, because he doesn't have much output, he keeps eating punches, and he goes down.
During the same year, Pereira was scheduled to defend his WGP kickboxing middleweight title against Maicon Silva. In the second round, the Brazilian decided to activate his nuclear button again and launched the notorious left hook that landed clean.
That was so fast.
The opponent was dropped to the canvas like a newborn deer and could not continue. On October 14, 2017, Powhatan was matched against the Muay Thai specialist Simon Marcus, a 2-time Glory middleweight champion and one of the few athletes who holds a victory over Israel Adesanya. In a bout with the Glory middleweight championship on the line, they fought a close back-and-forth fight, and neither was willing to back down.
His foot. Simon got caught there and trying to get Pereira can win with his hands. Marcus can win with his kicks.
However, in the closing seconds of the fourth round, Pereira threw an aggressive combo that hurt the Canadian.
A little bit more fight. I think he's hurt.
As the Brazilian stepped back, he relaunched his vicious left hook, dropping Marcus to the canvas.
And that's when Marcus backed up and got caught with that. Well, look how
somehow, the opponent survived the attack and beat the count, only to be met with a flying knee and a fury of punches. Thankfully for Marcus, he was saved by the bell to see the 5th and final round. Although one more round with Pereira could hardly be called a salvation. The fight went to the judges' scorecards and Pereira was declared the victor, winning the Glory middleweight title.
Mile out of him with that impressive victory.
The Brazilian defended his belt twice against the top Glory middleweight contender, Yosri Belgarui, and manhandled Simon Marcus in a rematch again, scoring another unanimous decision victory. On May 17, 2019, Powhatan was scheduled to defend his title against the fighter who caused him his first professional loss in his kickboxing career, Jason Wilness, a former It's Showtime and Glory middleweight champion. This time, Pereira was the aggressor as he delivered a vast high kick in the first round that knocked the opponent down.
KO finish. Oh, high kick! Wow!
Despite beating the count, Alex immediately ran towards the Dutch fighter and launched himself in the air with a vicious flying knee that landed perfectly.
But then right away he did that flying switch knee, and that set up so beautiful.
Although Jason was willing to get up, he looked like a drunk man trying to exit the bar, forcing the referee to wave the fight off. The revenge was served cold. On September 28, 2019, the Brazilian was matched against the young prospect Donegi Abenya, the current Glory light heavyweight champion. Although Albino was the future of kickboxing, Pereira was willing to prove to him that he was the present and was determined to win the interim Glory Light Heavyweight Championship.
Here we go, Light Heavyweight Championship of the world on
Alex dominated the fight from the beginning,
power, at least in the middleweight division. Can he carry it up to
culminating in the third.
He's on his strength and conditioning as well.
He's hurt. Famous the knee now, trying to hold on. Can Poatan put him?
The Brazilian used his weapon of choice, the left hook, to shut Albino's lights out instantly.
Done it! Glory's first!
A spectacular knockout that earned him the interim Glory Light Heavyweight title. During the same year, Pereira was scheduled to defend his middleweight title against Ertuğrul Bayrak, the current #1 ranked Glory middleweight kickboxer. The Turk obviously did not do his homework to avoid Pereira's left hook, and in the very last second of round 1, the Brazilian activated his nuclear left hook again, knocking Bayrak out cold.
Stop! What a left hook.
There was no count needed. On January 30th, 2021, Poatan was matched for the Glory Light Heavyweight Unification title. Although Pereira won the interim belt, he was never the undisputed light heavyweight champion. Becoming one was a high mountain to climb, and on top was the Russian beast, Artem Vahiktov, one of the best pound-for-pound kickboxers on the planet. Artem was the aggressor as he kept pressuring Alex on his back foot against the ropes.
There's those low kicks. Relaxed in there.
However, the Brazilian played an intelligent game with counter strikes.
Vahiktov. Those can add up over 5 or all out. Vahiktov.
Outstriking Artem almost every round.
But the problem is, like, when you throw your low kick, you get those big punches.
Vahiktov had his great moment in the 5th when he landed a huge right hand that wobbled Pereira.
Again for the Russian. And he caught him again.
But it wasn't enough to win him the bout as Poatan was declared the winner via split decision.
Champion of the world!
By becoming the undisputed light heavyweight champion, the Brazilian became the first fighter in Glory history to simultaneously hold 2 belts at the same time. Considering how close this fight was, these 2 kickboxing elites were scheduled for a rematch on September 4th, 2021. Pereira had good opening rounds in this bout.
Comes out firing.
Break! Get your notebooks out because master class has started, man.
Arguably winning the first 2.
Pressure. Moves a nice little quick timing for him.
There you go. A little arrogant stare down.
However, the Russian took over from the 3rd.
Oh, nice right hand there for Vahiktov. And then a 3rd time, Vahiktov.
And managed to edge Alex on the judges' scorecards, reclaiming the light heavyweight belt. Nevertheless, Alex Pereira had bigger fish to fry and seemed not bothered by the loss, as the UFC made him an offer he couldn't refuse. So he signed with the organization during the same year. By the time Pereira signed with the UFC, he was already 3-1 in MMA. Although he lost his MMA debut via submission, he worked on his grappling to avoid being taken down and won the following 3 bouts via stoppages. The Brazilian made his promotional debut on November 6, 2021 against Andreas Michailidis, a dangerous finisher and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. The Greek was aware of Pereira's superiority on the feet, and he knew that he had to close the distance at the speed of light.
This is an excellent opening for this fight.
However, Alex knew what to expect and learned how to defend against elite grapplers.
This is an excellent opening for this fight. Yeah, look at this. Gets the fight to the ground, on the feet. If he can tie these legs up and move to a dominant position.
Me, Joe, because a lot of times people's ego takes.
Although Michailidis managed to neutralize Pereira's striking by utilizing his grappling, he couldn't cause any damage.
The training with Glover is one of the reasons why Glover is.
And possessing a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt seemed like having a free toy in his pocket. Nevertheless, as the second round started, Alex wasted no time and launched himself in the air with a deadly flying knee that landed clean.
Alex Pereira.
It's a different kind of power, man.
Oh my God.
The Brazilian followed Andreas and delivered a couple more super necessary ground and pound strikes, forcing the referee to wave the fight off.
But now he gets to use elbows as well, which he couldn't use in Glory.
That was one of the most spectacular UFC debuts in history, and Pereira proved that he is indeed a UFC material fighter. In the next bout, Poatan was scheduled against Bruno Silva, a BJJ black belt, and a knockout artist with 20 KO victories on his resume. Although Silva fought well,
he's got to be
Pereira was the better fighter overall, outstriking him on the feet and
knee up top. Pereira. Ripping the body in an uppercut.
Silva showing some toughness, but he's getting teed off.
Silva is covering up, and Pereira is foot on the gas pedal. Oh my God! Silva's punching back.
The fight went to the judges' scorecards, and Alex was declared the winner, moving to 2-0 in the UFC.
Pereira!
In less than 4 months, Pereira was scheduled against one of the UFC's top contenders, Strickland, the former King of the Cage middleweight champion. Pereira saw an opening and delivered his signature left hook from hell. That knocked Strickland down, forcing the referee to stop the fight.
Done it again! That's why! You cannot stand in front of that man!
Finally, a third fight was scheduled between Alex Pereira and Israel Adesanya, his nemesis, and the UFC middleweight champion. This time in the octagon. Adesanya seemed unstoppable as a middleweight as he cleared the division and beat every top contender such as Anderson Silva, Yoel Romero, Paulo Costa, and Jared Cannonier. Since Alex already won twice against him in kickboxing, many believed he was Adesanya's kryptonite. On November 12, 2022, they were scheduled for an epic showdown with the UFC middleweight title on the line. Israel developed a unique MMA style over the years, and that experience significantly influenced the first 4 rounds.
It's been 25 minutes in MMA.
Oh, nice right here, Mike.
Good low kick by Izzy. Oh, good kick to the body.
Landed a big knee.
Huge right in the left.
Izzy was the better technical fighter for 3 rounds, and leading into the 5th, Israel was up 3 rounds to 1.
Nasty.
Even in close.
Oh, he hurt him. He hurt him with that shot in tight.
Oh my goodness.
Couple nice left hands from the challenger. 45.
Despite being tired and the experience factor playing against him, Alex entered the 5th round as he had nothing to lose, knowing he was down 2 rounds. He knew he had to finish the fight before the final bell to win the contest. The only thing that Izzy needed to do was survive the round. However, the Brazilian landed a huge leg kick that hurt the champion.
His lead against Leon Edwards. Big leg kick for Pereira. Backs out Adesanya.
Alex went after him and kept pressuring Izzy against the cage. Although Adesanya is very experienced in defending from this position, the Brazilian found success with his powerful combination and then, out of nowhere, landed his infamous left hook that wobbled the champ.
The left hook again.
And then another one.
Adesanya was severely hurt and was trying to survive the storm, entering fully in defensive mode.
No. I mean, he was hurt bad. You could have stopped this a long time ago.
However, the powerful Brazilian kept attacking Izzy as a man possessed, delivering heavy strikes to the head that forced the referee to stop the fight. Just like that, Alex Pereira became the new middleweight champion of the world. Alex Pereira has done it. He defeated the middleweight king, and nobody could dispute him anymore. Since Izzy was a dominant champion for years, he deserved an immediate rematch, and the UFC scheduled them to fight in the cage for a second time on April 8th, 2023. After delivering a very close first round,
2 more hard low. No telegraph.
Pereira was stalking Adesanya at the closing minute of the second and landed an outside kick that disbalanced Izzy badly. He then went after the Nigerian, trying to use the kick to his advantage and score the best out of it. As he landed another big low kick,
Got it again. He gets hit with that.
Alex pressed Israel against the cage, threatening with massive strikes and a knee,
Hands down.
followed by the infamous left hook. However, the Nigerian blocked the left hook while keeping his eyes on the opponent, threw a jab to distract Pereira, and then landed a picture-perfect overhand right that hurt the Brazilian badly. He followed that punch with another right over the shoulder, and Alex Pereira was done. Although this fight did not go in his favor, it marked one of the biggest rivalries in UFC history. Since they are 1-1 in the octagon, we can assume that a third fight is in the cards. After suffering a crushing defeat at the hands of Adesanya, Pereira moved up to light heavyweight to face one of the scariest monsters at light heavyweight, Jan Blachowicz. Instead of striking, the Pole resorted to his wrestling-heavy game plan from the start.
Early shot.
Right away.
How strong Pereira is in the clinch on the ground.
Moments later, Blachowicz mounted Pereira and threatened a rear naked choke.
It's very difficult to do that. Oh, he's on the chin.
But the Brazilian proved to be inhumanely resilient.
Of attacking the hands and not falling victim to that submission.
Blachowicz was visibly labored in round 2 as both men traded hard leg kicks.
Energy expended on both sides.
Before the former champ went for another takedown, although he had his guns jammed.
But I cannot spend the rest of this round.
Once Pereira got up, he pushed Blachowicz against the cage and landed a flurry of ballistic hooks and nuclear uppercuts, forcing his opponent to hunker down defensively. The third round started with leg kicks as well. But Pereira produced bigger moments on the feet and ultimately secured a razor-close split decision. A few months later, Pereira fought former champion Jiri Prochazka in a light heavyweight title showdown for the ages.
I will prove that again.
Early in the fight, Prochazka kept his hands low out of the gate and prodded out a few leg kicks,
Prochazka gives you. It's crazy.
while working at awkward angles. Moments later, he ducked down for a level change, before ripping an uppercut that made Pereira take a few steps back.
So hard to...
The Brazilian responded with a thudding leg kick that disrupted Prochazka's equilibrium, before chopping his foe's legs down with more heavy artillery of leg kicks. Prochazka found some respite in the form of a takedown, but late in the first, the two traded big, hellish blows while getting back up.
Nice right hand from Pereira. Now
In round 2, Prochazka came out swinging for the fences, wanting to pressure Pereira with his unorthodox ways.
Big shot by Prochazka.
But Prochazka fell victim to the right-left counter combo that made the ref stop the fight. And just like that, Pereira was the light heavyweight champion. The next time Alex Pereira steps into the cage, he'll likely face Jamal Hill or Israel Adesanya if the UFC books them in a clash for the ages at UFC 300, the biggest event in the promotion's history. Regardless, the Brazilian has already solidified his legacy as a Hall of Famer, and it's only up and above from here on. How far will Alex Pereira go? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, throw a left hook to the like button and subscribe to our channel.